things like this would make like a nice gift, I think, for Christmas. I might gift some of these to my kids because this would be easy, quick meals for them. Hi, y'all. Welcome back to Faith-Filled Growing. My name is Michelle, and what we're about to get ready to do is these are Hawaiian sweet potatoes or Okinawan sweet potatoes. They're purple inside, and I am going to peel these and steam them in here so that we can make instant mashed potatoes for our Hawaiian sweet potatoes or Okinawan sweet potatoes. Let me show you some that I have already done. I just have a little bit left, but that's why we're going to make some more. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. It's basically just powder, and they're freeze-dried mashed potatoes, and it makes very simple, quick making a meal. And so basically this is all I have left. The last time I did it, I probably did about this many last time. And you can do the same thing with regular potatoes. I have my regular mashed potatoes done this way. Okay, so this is my regular mashed potatoes. I don't have much left of these either. It's time to make some more as well. And what I like about these is they're so quick. You know, before I got a freeze dryer and before I started doing this, anytime we would make mashed potatoes, probably 9.5 times out of 10, I would always just buy the instant mashed potatoes because it's so much quicker than getting the potatoes and peeling them and cooking them and then mashing them and all that kind of stuff. Well, what I love about these instead of the store-bought ones is the store-bought ones, if you look on the ingredients, there's more than just potatoes in that package. This is only potatoes. This is only potatoes. Nothing else, no added ingredients. Now, I could, if I wanted to, I could flavor these. Like when I mash them, I could do that and then freeze dry them. But I like to keep them unflavored. That way, later, I can change them into any type of flavor that I want. If I don't flavor them, it gives me a lot more flexibility when I go to make them on how I want to flavor them at that time. Like with my regular mashed potatoes, I typically use milk and butter to reconstitute them rather than water. You can do that with the Hawaiian sweet potatoes too, but I tend to just use water with the sweet potatoes because they're sweet enough already as it is. It's best to steam your potatoes as opposed to boiling them, especially when it comes to the Hawaiian sweet potatoes or the Okinawan sweet potatoes, because if you boil them, you can lose some of the color. And so to retain as much of the color in them as you can, it's best to steam them. Well, I don't have a steamer this big. Like this is my biggest pot that I have. Now it will fit in a smaller pot. I'll show you. It will fit in this pot here. And then I can just put the lid on it like that. But I had an idea to use my big stock pot. And I can't put this on the bottom, of course. So I have this in the bottom. I was going to set this on. I was going to fill the water up to, here. So set this on in there. And then I thought, I could put this on top of it and still get the lid on it. So I can have plenty of room for all of these potatoes to do one time. We're going to try that and I'll let you know. Well, you'll see if it works or if it fails. That's my plan. I'm going to go ahead and wash these also, just to get any of the dirt off. Okay, all my potatoes are washed and we're ready. Oh, one thing I do need is a cutting board so I can cut them. Before I put them in the pot. Okay, let me wash my hands as best I can. Put some water in the bottom of this, cover it, and then we'll get going with steaming them. Hopefully this works with the 2 layers. Okay, so I'm gonna steam these for about 20 minutes. It's been about 25 minutes and I just checked these and they feel pretty good. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take them out. Let's see. Let me test these in. Yeah, I mean, they're not super soft, which I don't think I want them super soft. Let me do this. Let me test one. Let's see how easy they are to put through this ricer. And I'm going to use this smallest, the smallest little one of these. And if it goes through this, well, that one was pretty easy. If it goes through this pretty easy, then I think we're good. That wasn't too bad. I think that's probably just fine, just like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and take them out of here and rice them. So what I do is I just scrape off the stuff that's stuck to the masher part. I should get my husband to come in here and do this. He's stronger. I think it probably matters on how much I put in, because I filled that one up pretty full. And it was harder. Let's just put one in and see if see if one's easier. That one was definitely easier. Maybe less is more. You know what I could do that might make this easier? Just put it in the food processor. It made a dough ball. I should have just kept pulsing it, but I think I can break it up. So let's try. Well, if I want to make some dough, I know how. I'll crumble it. This is great, just like this, but on the next ones, I'm not going to let it run. I'm just going to keep pulsing it so that it doesn't make a dough ball. That's definitely a lot faster than me using that thing. I'm so glad I thought of that. You know, that's what happens sometimes is when you're working in the kitchen, you just have to keep thinking about what would be the best way to do things. I'm going to do a smaller amount this time. This would have taken me forever if I would have used that thing. You know, I'm all for going back in time and having real food, but I'm certainly also for being in our modern day times and having modern appliances for the convenience of ease and making things not take as long. Okay, so I decided I'm not going to put it in the refrigerator first because it's pretty crumbly already, and that's really the purpose of putting it in the refrigerator before you put it on the trays, is just to make it crumbly. And because I steamed it instead of boiling it, there's not too much water in it. So I didn't really need to dry it out either. So since I can go ahead and crumble it, I'm going to go ahead and fill up my freeze-dry trays. That way I can just go ahead and put it straight into the freezer. If I had another glove in here, I could use 2 hands, but I'm tired of scrubbing my hands to get the purple off of them because I've been having to scrub them with a scrub brush. Okay, I'm going to take these to the freezer. So that gets me 6 trays, which is 1 full freeze dryer full. I need to go pre-freeze these and then freeze dry them, and then I'll pick back up where the next step is. Hi y'all. Okay, I've got the Hawaiian sweet potatoes or Okinawan sweet potatoes out of the freeze dryer. Okay, so we are going to take these out and put them in the food processor. This is what they look like. And you can tell that they are ready because if you try to break them, they're just all crumbly. And the bigger bits are like really hard. And when I do break them, they're dry all the way through. So we know that they're ready to go. And I could just bag them up or put them in my canning jars however I wanted. I could do it just like this if I wanted, but I actually like to put them into a powder first because then the reconstituting is even because they're all small pieces instead of having like maybe a large piece with a, whoops, a little tiny piece. So I'm going to put them in the food processor and get them blended up, and then we will package them away to be stored for later. Okay, I'm going to only put this much in to begin with, and then I'll pour that out. So I'll just do one tray at a time because I don't want so much in here that the product can't like turn over very easily. So yeah. All right, now let's look at it. Yeah, that will all like reconstitute. So I'm just going to put all the processed into here. And then we'll do another tray. We have 10 pounds of Hawaiian sweet potatoes, and I'd say that's about a half of a gallon, maybe slightly more. Fill this jar up. That's good enough. And then we'll just put the lid on it and then seal it. And now this will be what I use off of the shelf. I'll put these in Mylar bags. As this depletes, then I'll refill using what's in the Mylar bags. That's usually the system that I use. You know, and I was just thinking, this actually, things like this would make like a nice gift, I think, for Christmas. I might gift some of these to my kids. Because this would be easy, quick meals for them that, you know, they don't have to buy at the store. So, I don't know. What do you think? Would you gift something like this to somebody? I would enjoy it if I got it. So, yeah. Okay, so we are out in the garage where we have our freeze dryer. I decided I'm going to just put them in this size bag for now. I don't know how many this will be. I've got 5 here. Maybe I'll start with 3 and see how 3 go. Now, the one thing I wish I had is something to keep them open. Here we go. I use these things all the time. Whoopsie. And I do that occasionally too. Get a little too overzealous. Okay, so I brought 2. That one, this one has a little bit wider, so I'm gonna do this one. I think this will be good. Gives me a bigger space. That's working great. That's about all even. So now I'm gonna drop my absorbers in here. And then I've got my sealer. Seal this real quick. And then close these off. And now seal them. And I usually put the heat thing, like these have a little mark where you can tear them, and I usually place it just for like right at that line. And there we go. And now to label them. I usually don't label, like it would be neater if I labeled them before I filled them, but because I never know how many it's going to take, I usually just always label them after. Okay, so we are back again, and I thought I would just end this video with showing you how I reconstitute this and why I love doing this so much and how easy it is for whenever I'm making dinner. I don't have to, spend 30 minutes or longer, depending upon how much I'm making, to add mashed potatoes to my meal. I'm going to go through the process just like I would if I was making dinner. I've got a pot, I got my lid, I have 1 cup of water, and I'm going to warm this up on the stove. It'll take a little bit because I didn't pre-warm it. While this is warming up, I just wanted to tell you one thing that I was thinking about. We're about to transform these mashed potatoes, right? And these mashed potatoes, you wouldn't know that they're mashed potatoes if you looked at them and if you didn't know already that they were going to be mashed potatoes. There's a lot of work that went on behind the scenes to get to this point. Y'all just watched it. We had to wash the potatoes, peel the potatoes, steam the potatoes, smash the potatoes, freeze the potatoes, put them in the freeze dryer and freeze dry the potatoes. Then we had to powder the potatoes, right? So there was a lot of work to get to this point. If you just got this off your shelf, if you didn't do the work yourself, you may not have known all the work that went into making these amazing mashed potatoes. That's kind of like how God works in our lives. A lot of times He's working in our lives behind the scenes. We don't know what's going on, and it's not until we're faced with something that we realize that we've changed, that we respond to something differently because of the work that He's done in our lives. That's how, when we spend time in the Word and in prayer, He's slowly working on us. He's transforming us through our quiet time with God. So next time you're making mashed potatoes, whether it be freeze-dried mashed potatoes or if it is regular mashed potatoes, think about the transformation that those mashed potatoes are making and how that relates to your life. Are you spending time in the Word and praying so that your life can be transformed into something much better? Transformation, it doesn't always look impressive. You don't always see all the work that's being done, but God is doing His work in your life. Sometimes it's the deepest work that He does that's unseen, that you don't even know about, So I just wanted to give you that little tidbit of information while we wait on our water to warm up. It should be just about ready. Our water, it's steaming, and I am going to pour out. It's boiling. I'm going to turn my water off and set it off of the burner. I don't want all that water evaporating out. And so I had a cup of water in there. So what I'm doing is equal portions to begin with, and you can then adjust from there, like if you wanted a thicker mash or more like a puree or however you want to do it. But I would only do like 1 tablespoon at a time, or maybe even a teaspoon at a time, depending upon how close it is to the texture that you want. Sweet potatoes are a little different than regular mashed potatoes. Like my regular mashed potatoes, I usually do 1.5 cups of milk instead of water. 1.5 cups of liquid basically to 1 cup of potatoes, because they soak up a lot more water than what sweet potatoes will. These don't have the amount of starch that the potatoes have. So I'm gonna just put this in here, get my spoon, I'm gonna stir it all up to make sure everything's incorporated. This next part is important. Put the lid on it and then set it aside. And this is going to reconstitute. It has actually been about 15 minutes and I'm gonna look in here and see it's still warm. I can feel the pot is warm. What I typically do is if I'm making dinner, I will make my potatoes first. That's the first thing I usually do, is I'll boil my water, put the potatoes in, then I set them aside. Then I do whatever else I'm going to do for the meal. Usually, almost always, the potatoes are done long before I am done with everything else. And then I just leave them over, where I'm cooking so that they stay warm, and I leave a lid on them. So, okay, let's go back to, let's see how these are reconstituting. I can see that there's still some dryness in here. So I am probably going to go ahead, and I'm losing a little bit of heat here. So I'm probably going to add, this is what my potatoes look like right now. They're a little thick for what I typically will want. Actually, after I'm mixing them up, they're getting a little bit better. So maybe you'll always want to mix your potatoes more than once, because that adjusts the hydration in there. Like maybe they're lumped up like this, and then after you mix them again, what's on the inside will be on the outside, and what's on the outside will be on the inside, So you'll want to mix them once before you're ready, for sure. So we are back. I've got a little bit of extra hot water. You can see the steam coming off of it. And we're going to check to see how our potatoes are looking. They are definitely looking much better, but I do think I want to add a little bit of water. So I'm going to add 1 tablespoon. And then I'll mix that up. I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon. And I think that's probably good for me, because I also know, that way you can see what it looks like. Yeah. Now, this is my favorite way to make Hawaiian sweet potatoes. Not necessarily regular sweet potatoes, but these kind of sweet potatoes. I want you to see what it looks like first. Now you can kind of see what the potatoes look like. You can see kind of the consistency. They're definitely not a runny mashed potato. I like this consistency, but like I said, you can make it to be whatever consistency you want. But what I am going to do, I am going to add a little bit of sushi vinegar. You can use any kind of vinegar that you want. I think sushi vinegar and rice vinegar are probably the best to use, but I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon of sushi vinegar. And then it's going to just brighten the color and the flavor. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little taste test and see if I think it needs a little bit more. And for my personal preference, I think it needs one more splash of vinegar. Okay, so we've got, so far in here, we have 1 cup of the freeze-dried potatoes. We have 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of hot water. And then we have 2 tablespoons of sushi vinegar. And so now I'm gonna do a little taste test and see what I think. That's fantastic. I am gonna add just not a whole teaspoon, just a little tiny bit. I don't know how much that is. Tiny bit. Just to give it just a little bit more flavor. Normally I would get a clean spoon, but since I'm the one that's gonna be eating these, I don't care. Perfect. Okay, so if I would have been doing these for dinner, I would have had to go through the whole first process. But doing it this way, having these on the shelf ready for me to go, basically I didn't spend hardly any time, if you think about it, really, because I would have been making the rest of my meal. I would have just warmed up the water, a cup of water, put the potatoes in, set it aside. Then right at the end, I would have stirred them once in the middle. Then right at the end, before I was ready to eat them, I would have added the sushi vinegar, maybe added the extra water to just change the texture a little bit, and then they were ready to go. So you can see why I think this is my favorite way to have mashed potatoes, and why I think this would make a great gift for somebody. Just put the directions on the jar somewhere or on the lid so that they know how to make them as well. Now, you don't have to make them with sushi vinegar. You can make them with milk and butter, salt and pepper if you want. You can make them with a little bit of sugar if you want to sweeten them up even more. But I think they're sweet enough as they are. You can, a lot of times they'll put like coconut milk in it, or coconut syrup flavoring, you know. There's all kinds of things that you can do with them. This just happens to be my favorite way. If you like this kind of content, if you would like and subscribe, share it with others, I would really appreciate it. It would help the algorithms push it out to more people. If you find value in it, leave a comment below. Tell me, have you ever tried any type of freeze-dried mashed potatoes? Do you do it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to remind you to stay rooted in faith and keep growing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks so much.